Oh.
Hello, I'm Danielle Ayers, the Minister of Justice here at Friendship West Baptist Church. And the next 2 months, we'll be dealing with the theology according to Black Lives Matter. We're very socially conscious here at Friendship West, and we do this throughout the year, but these 2 months, we're going to take some time out to dig a little deeper to talk about when we say Black Lives Matter, what does that mean? One of the things we're going to do over the next 2 months is have a pop-up museum where we will talk about current issues and how that relates to Black Lives Matter. So today we open up our pop-up museum here at Friendship West, and as you enter into the museum, we start off with why Black Lives Matter and what does that really mean when we say it. So as you can see here, we initially start with how did the movement start. So we want to make sure that everybody's clear on where did this movement come from. Then we move into when we say Black Lives Matter, what do we really mean? And so primarily what we're saying is that we are against any forms of violence, whether that's domestic violence, whether it's police brutality, whether it's impoverishment, any structures that we feel dehumanize Black and brown bodies. That is what we stand against and that we fight for our human rights. And so because it's a pop-up museum, we try to stay current on what's going on around not only our city, nation, and the world, but we also want to make sure that we understand what it means to be friendly with our neighbors and our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. So here we just simply have a flag of Haiti that we continue to pray for them in terms of Hurricane Matthew and the destruction that it has caused. But not only that, we still understand that there are some policies, foreign policies, that are also very disruptive to the country. Then we move to what we're calling our Say Her Name board, because oftentimes we don't hear about a lot of Black women who have been victims of violence, either whether police brutality, whether it's domestic violence, or whether it's other systematic forms of violence. We typically, women get lost. So we wanted to make sure that we acknowledge the women, some of the women who have lost their lives. We also looked to Fannie Lou Hamer, who was herself a victim of police brutality in terms of trying to register people to vote in Mississippi. We also remember those of the Bring Back Our Girls. That's another thing we often lose the sight of in the news. So we want to make sure that we do our part to lift up what it means when we say her name, and the importance of remembering Black women do indeed matter when we say Black Lives Matter. So another form of violence that we look to is impoverishment. And so what we have here is just some demonstrations, some numbers around what it means with child poverty and children who go hungry. So as you can walk through, you'll see stats on Texas poverty. 1 in 4 children live in poverty in the state of Texas. And then we just kind of move to more affirmation to reaffirm that we understand that we are truly the children of God and that God has something in store for us right here on earth and not something later. So we look to Luke 6:20 where he says, "Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled." So that means we have to do what we can to make sure people who are hungry eat now. And so this is just another amazing statistic of the poverty in the in the county and city of Dallas. And we imagine AT&T Stadium, home of the Dallas Cowboys, filled to capacity 2.5 times. That would represent the number of children who go hungry in the county, in the city of Dallas and in Dallas County. And so we just have more information here that tells you more about child poverty, women in poverty. So then we have here, we're trying to emphasize the importance of voting, register to vote, and why it's important not just to vote during the presidential election, but what does it mean to vote down the ballot? So we're just demonstrating who do you want to stand in front of when you are in courts. So you need to make sure you are voting for judges that really believe in criminal justice reform and who believe in not locking up problems, but really coming up with some smart solutions to crime, and particularly when it comes to drugs, that you can't lock up a habit. So this is just a demonstration with our drama ministry to kind of show you that this is very real, and until you vote or you're smart about voting, you may find yourself in front of a judge who particularly does not really care about what it means to minister justice. And so we end with our voting table just to kind of remind us that there was a time when there were literacy tests where you couldn't register to vote unless you passed some crazy test that no one could pass. And so it's important that we're coming back around full circle, that Black lives didn't matter during Jim Crow, and we're seeing that again today in different forms. So it's important that we register to vote and that we vote for those who have our issues involved, and that we hold our elected officials accountable. And so we have here is a recreation of a jail cell to highlight the issue of mass incarceration, which many are calling slavery by another name. And so you could walk around the mock jail and you see several things that are happening in the jail. So we have information that people can pick up and read. We have stats and statistics that really show that we're not just saying mass incarceration happens, but we have the statistics and the data to show that Black and brown bodies are disproportionately incarcerated over others. So we have information for folks to read and really be educated. So we're excited about the pop-up museum. Every week we'll change it out and have a new issue to highlight. But the whole thing is when we start hashtagging Black Lives Matter on our social media outlets, we want to make sure that we clearly understand that it's about any forms of violence that dehumanize us, and we need to be equipped with information to make sure that we are properly sharing information and that we know that what we're fighting for. It's important to know what are we fighting against and what are we fighting for, and that is our full human rights and to be against any form of violence that we see that pops up in our communities, our nation, and the world. We look forward to seeing you at the Pop-Up Museum.